Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simcade. And we are live for our F1 2022 penultimate race. Obviously, we are at Spa, as you can just see on the screen. It's just got. This was meant to be last week, but we had Imola rerun, so we mixed it up, and so we've got an extra week of F1, so we're running Spa, which is per the calendar. But as always, I'm joined by the world famous now. It's got to be Dodo. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And I wish I was world famous, but
You've got to be
quite,
close.
not yet.
Yeah, you've got to be close, haven't you?
I'm just below, like Lewis Hamilton level famous, I'd say.
Wow, that's pretty high. Hello, Yuki. How are you? Turn your Discord notifications. Yes, yeah, I had it on stream as well, but because I couldn't see everybody's name, I had to turn it back on. So I guess I will do that immediately. So apologies, Yuki. There you go. I've done it. Discord's got this weird and wonderful thing of like halving everybody's name to like the first letter of their name when you're in streamers mode for some strange reason. Don't know why. Don't know how to turn it off. But anyway, we shall get at it. So obviously Spa, fantastic track, right?
One of the best, absolutely.
I mean, but what I would say is I did air caution into the driver's brief because it might be one of the best, but man, is it one of the trickiest.
It can be. Yeah, some of the corners are really, really tricky. Downhill braking, downhill traction zones. So yeah, but personally one of my favourite tracks of all time. Probably my second favourite after Silverstone. So yeah, I'm always excited to race here.
So you are going to be the bit of the goat around Spa, are you?
Well, I wouldn't say that myself, but if you insist, I mean.
This is how we get you to world famous status, by the way, just to let you know.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Right, I'll just turn everything on, and then we'll get to somebody who's hit the track. So we have 13 on tracks. It's a bit of a low grid, however, I'm sure we'll still have the excitement of every other track. So why aren't Mans and Cornish racing? So Mans is away to the rest of the season now, so he will not be able to attend, and Cornish, pass. Your guess is about as good as mine. That's what I will say.
Lucky for Mans that they both missed out, because obviously if Cornish would have raced, he'd have brought that gap right down. But as it stands,
yeah, I don't know what that does to our championship battle. If Mans is now not here for the rest of the season, I don't know what that does. Let me check that out. I shall bring it up on my screen right now. If none of them turn up, then it looks to me like Mans has this one.
how many points?
125 points Mans has to 107 that Cornish has. So I don't really think there's mathematically anywhere
Yeah,
that he can
that's
catch
settled
up.
then. Mans is champion. How many points for a win, actually?
I want to say 15.
15. And there's a 17-point gap, so yeah, still no.
16 points with the fastest
16
lap.
point gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's out of the equation then.
So we have a champion. We have, yeah. You should move the social media graphics up. I mean, I put them there. That's where they've been the whole time. I think I can move them. Yeah, I can move them. There you go. We're happy, Yuki. Yuki's happy. I think this is just a weird track where the map is so, like, the track map is so pointed upwards. I think other maps it's quite squished.
It's also just huge, isn't it, this track?
Yeah,
so.
It is actually, yeah. Just on board at the moment with Instinct, I think he is probably looking for quite a good result, saying the top two are not in as well. Probably be looking at the likes of maybe, I don't know, Footy and Rosa should have good outings today.
Yeah, I think Rosa's probably the favourite. He's usually in that top three, but obviously with the absence of the top two, you'd expect him to be setting the pace, and then Extinct's always in and around that. And Footy's been improving a lot recently too, but I know he's been spending a lot of time on the new game, so he might not have as much pace as we'd expect from him because he's been turning his focus to 23, but we'll see.
I mean, I think that is probably where the focus is at for the majority. This is sort of slightly what happened at the back end of last time we crossed over of a game, as everybody was so hyper-focused on the new game and really wasn't interested in coming back to the old game. However, we still had a few people that didn't have the new game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised because the new game is really fun as well. So I'm sure for some of them who have got the new game, it's a bit of a pain to come back to the old game, but I'm sure they don't mind. Everyone loves Simcade, and a Simcade Thursday doesn't get any better than that.
It's the only place to be on a Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, exactly.
Surprised that Cornish didn't take advantage of this. I mean, I'm sure we'll heal from him. He has had a busy couple of weeks. He's been rebuilding the kitchen as Cornish, so a lot on. But it is what it is, isn't it? You know, we all have lives outside of Simcade, so I think, yeah. Some people taking their lives far too seriously. So, from a driver's point of view, going up Eau Rouge in all the games that you've played, you know, sim games that you've played, is it as good as it feels in every other simulator, or is F1 sort of the best way to go up it? Because you're going up there, the fastest that you can go up there.
I mean, obviously F1's the fastest, but in these cars on the game, obviously I'm sure in real life it's a lot different, but in the game it's kind of a non-issue because it's easily flat out. You've got so much downforce, so much grip, that it's just kind of a nothing corner, really. Like an average flat out corner, but a bit steep. I'd say on other games like Assetto Corsa, for example, it's a lot more satisfying and a lot more tricky because you do have to lift slightly or even brake sometimes, depending on the car you're in. So in F1, it's cool because it's steep and it's iconic, but it's actually just flat out and you don't have to worry about it.
The only thing that I would personally say about it that can be scary is if you get it all wrong, you are most definitely going to end up in a wall of some sort at the top of Eau Rouge, because it is kind of, the car gets loose with the elevation change, especially as you're coming up the top of the hill. As the car sweeps up, you sort of lose a bit of traction, especially in the rear end. It's just kind of scary. You just have zero feeling in the car.
If it rains.
Rain, yeah.
And if it rains as well, it becomes a very tricky corner then, because you're fighting for grip all the time. So
we are blessed with quite a lot of runoff here, but it is a lot of grass and a lot of it's just more grass and tarmac than it is. I don't think there's any gravel really here, is there?
It's mainly runoff, but there's a bit of gravel around. Other than the chicane and at the end of the Camel Straight, if you run wide there's a bit of gravel.
Yes.
But most of the corners, there's quite a lot of runoff here, a lot of space. It's a big track, it's a big forest, so it's not one of the more punishing tracks in terms of track limits.
No, but when you're off the track, you're probably most likely going to go into a wall because of the speeds that you're going at.
Yeah, exactly, and even more so with the low downforce setup which you're using.
Yeah, but which is it's kind of like weird when you say about on how large the runoff areas are here. It still feels like it should be another 10 meters away, because the speeds that you're going around some of these corners and off these straights, you're still more than likely to go into the wall, even though the track's so wide. It's really deceiving, isn't it?
It can be, yeah. You think you're a lot safer than you are. I mean, there are a lot of corners here that can catch you out, a lot of curbs that can really catch you out as well.
That was my next point, was the curbs here. They're almost as bad as the curbs at Monza, aren't they? With how steep the majority of them are. So we've got quite a flat line curbs and just rumble strip curbs, but some of them, especially towards like the chicanes and the hairpins and some of the really fast sector 3 corners, especially, the curbs are like silly high.
Yeah, I think the main ones in this track in terms of curbs is the one on the inside of Pouon, the long left-hander. If you touch that, you're round. And then, like you said, last sector, if you hit those at the right angle, especially in the fast chicane, at the end of the second sector, it can send the car straight away. So maybe they'll be attacking qualifying, but they'll probably stay well away from those during the race.
Again, they're just extremely deceiving, aren't they? And especially where I've just got watching footy, the exit to just before the downhill where he is now, that curb, it's weird, isn't it? Because they're angled at an angle that's definitely going to slingshot the car around. They're weird.
Yeah, and this game, it's very difficult to catch a slide, so you've got to be extra careful.
However, 2023 catch and slide is so satisfying. It has to be the most satisfying thing ever in a game. Which is great to actually be able to feel that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. It feels more like, it feels more like a simulator, like we're used to with ACC and me, particularly with iRace. It's nice to finally have that in the F1 game.
It is indeed. What else was I going to mention then? I was going to mention something else before that. I've totally lost my train of thought. I'm sure it will come back to me at some point. So for a lap around here, what are we looking for? What is your go-to lap?
Okay, so I used to do a league on a Wednesday night called PMO, and one of my best pole laps I've ever done around here was a 42.7, I believe. So yeah, you'd be looking for a low 43, possibly a high 42 if you properly nail a lap.
So when it comes to Rosa's lap, as we were saying before about Rosa being the man to watch for here, that's not far off where you'd expect it to be.
Not at all, no. Obviously the lap I did. Oh,
and he's just hit the wall and he's out.
He's out. Yep, there was a car in the
there
was a car in the way there. He swerved to avoid it and hit the wall. That's not great. He's still got half a second on the field, so he should be okay.
Yeah, we'll have to watch out for maybe Footy and Extinct. Extinct's in the pits. I think what we'll do next time Extinct comes on track is you can take us for a lap around Spa, because it is a long track. And I don't think anybody really understands how long it is until you actually sort of go around it, because you do every other track, you're looking at about low 1 minutes, mid to low 1 minutes. 1 minute 30s for every track pretty much, but then around here you're 1 minute 40s, 50s depending on your skill level. It's a long track.
It's a very long track, and obviously that means the gaps are widened between people. I mean, on a track like Austria, a 1/10 gap will be a half a second gap around here because of the extra distance you're covering. So it can make you look worse than you are, and it can also make people look better than they are because of the discrepancy in time.
And doing this in a racing rig with all the force feedback and everything, how punishing does it get after 20 laps?
It can be very punishing. I mean, this track's so fast, so committed. It's hard on tyres, and you've got to keep full concentration as well. So yeah, it's certainly one of the more satisfying, definitely one of the best tracks to race on.
Yeah, definitely. We're still not seeing Extinct coming out of the pits, which is unfortunate. Probably be waiting for the last couple of minutes. There's yellow flag to sector 3. We've got a very, very slow car coming around. Not quite sure who that is. Who have we got?
Looks like an Alpine.
It is Footy.
Or a Williams.
It is a Williams of Footy. I'm not sure whether he's in low fuel mode.
He's on 100% ERS. Maybe he's letting people through. Oh, he's decided to come into the pits. And he's done that at a really terrible angle.
I mean, we couldn't have time.
I think we need an Austin Powers gif here.
Oh, did you hear about me did you see me on Tuesday?
I didn't know. I couldn't make it, unfortunately.
I totally Austin Powered it on Tuesday. We did F1 23. Coming out the pit lane at Silverstone. Yeah, totally.
Oh, you did a Roman Grosjean.
Yeah. The AI, it took him about 20 attempts to get it out. And he just wouldn't. It just gave up.
It just disqualified you.
Yes, it did. Yeah, and I disqualified Polly as well because he was behind me and he was stopped in the pit lane, obviously.
Oh dear.
So yeah. It's going to be weird without having a season without Mans. I know. It is, but he will be back. We know he'll be back.
He will be. I'm sure there's a very good reason as to why he's not racing next season.
I think he doesn't like taking 3 championships, I believe is what we got told.
Very modest of him.
So, yeah. AJ's showing us why he should be in the commentary box. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. I've still got it. I got the fastest lap of the race.
Boy, your talents are wasted up here.
I mean...
Should be on the track.
Me and Ninja went onto the softs at the end, and bearing in mind everybody did softs running because the new game, it gives you like weird strategies. What we were asking for last week actually came true, and it does give you weird strategies. So he put us on the soft tyres, and I went back onto the softs at the end because of whatever happened. And I ended up, fastest lap of the race, and Ninja second fastest, 10th behind me. So I think I'm definitely wasted.
You are. You should be out there right now on track instead of being up here.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think I've just seen a message in Discord from Rosa saying the session ends at 4:53. End of story. So he's having poll whether you like it or not. Right, so we've got Extinct now on an outlap. I think he's just started his outlap. He has, yeah. If there's going to be a Simcade Hall of Fame, Mans will be in it. I mean, Mans will be in it. Dodo for sure will be in it. Coming in and wiping the floor and then going, do you know what? That's enough of that.
I don't know about that. Only did one season.
Yeah.
I reckon the likes of Mans and Cornish would definitely be in there over me. And then obviously the people who've been there for even longer, the likes of Futty and Lance and all that, definitely deserve to be in it. And of course, you and Ninja, because you two are the goats.
I don't know about
The
that.
goats of Simcade.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, you're the founders. The reason why it all happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the reason why, but
there is no Simcade.
Oh, that's enough of that. Now you're making me blush. Stop it. I'm joking. We should make a Hall of Fame as Hit retires from the session after putting a brilliant P10 quali lap there. Producer, so for a person that's really been sort of struggling with F1 itself, it's not a bad effort, that I don't think.
No, it's a good try. That definitely P10. I mean, if he keeps that up, it's points, isn't it?
Yep, it is indeed. Right, we'll just. Extinct seems to be taking an awful long time to get around track.
Yeah, he's been going very slowly. I don't know if he's trying to burn fuel. I doubt it, because the minimum amount of fuel you get you around 2 laps around here, because it's so long. So maybe he's letting traffic go or something.
Waiting for the last possible moment to cross the line. I can't see how long there is left of the session. It's got yellow flags.
Yeah, I think that's the Aston Martin.
39 seconds. There we go. It's just about to start a lap, so take it away. Dodo.
Right, here we go into La Source. Braking down into 3rd gear. Get the car straightened out really nicely. This is such an important exit because you're on the power from here all the way to the end of the Kemmel Straight. The next thing you're looking at, straight up the hill through Eau Rouge, flick it to the left, and then commit to the right, use the curb on the inside, and then cut this as much as you can without going over the track limits. And then open the DRS, little easy flat kink to the right, stay to the left hand side, and then we're thinking about this chicane. Get right on the curb, brake as close to the 50 metre board as you can, and then hit that inside curb on the right and then the left, and then carry as much speed through here as you possibly can. Use all the exit curb on the left hand side, and then this is a really tricky braking zone. Try not to lock up the right front tyre. Keep tight to the right hand side, and then get the drive out of here into no name corner. And then he negotiates that lovely, taking a lot of minimum speed into the most committed corner on the track. Poo on, use all the downforce here, flick it down into 7th gear, use all the curb, use all the exit curb. That's lovely from Extinct there. This is looking like a really good lap at the moment from the Aston Martin man into this fast chicane. Slightly off apex there, but you can afford to have a late apex. Use the curb on the inside here and then the exit curb on the outside. This is an important corner. The exit out of here will decide how fast you are around this whole sector, and he's gone purple in the middle half of the lap. And then this is flat down to bus stop chicane, through in a minute now, through Blanchimont, flat, try not to scrub off enough speed, and then brake as late as you dare, hit the inside on the right, and then it doesn't matter too much about the exit as long as you're carrying that speed, because it's only short onto the line, and he comes across the line, and he takes P1 with a lovely 43.2.
That had to be the lap of his Simcade career there, as we've just seen Lance in a barrier, which is not where it needs to be at all whatsoever.
I'd have to say that's probably the best lap I've commentated on so far in my Simcade career from Extinct there.
I mean, it got me excited. It got me wanting to be doing it. To be 6/10 up in the middle sector, though, that's very impressive. As Ninja's going to cross the line, can he improve? He does. He just jumps down and he gets himself up to P7. It's not a bad effort there, I think.
Top draw lap from Extinct, taking advantage of the top two not being here perfectly, and that is the perfect demonstration, really, of how you want to be driving this track.
Yeah, on the limit with a lot of confidence.
Absolutely, he had full trust in the setup and the car underneath him, and yeah, he wins qualifying, pole position. Can't ask more than that.
No, you can't. I'll just run you through the grid when we get the confirmation. So, taking pole position with its Extinct, just behind him, 2.5 tenths behind him, was Rosa. Then Lance P3, Golf, Footy, Stevie, Ninja, Danny, Rob, and Hip rounding up the top 10 with Mikey, Craig, and William the King finishing last. So 25 seconds until we jump into the session. So, guys, don't forget, driver of the day votes will be out about 3/4 of the way through, so don't forget to get them in as well. And also, who we're having to win the race? Like top three. Dodo.
Oh, you want my top three? Okay. Well, Belgium can always throw up some mental races, so I think I'm going to go for a mixed-up podium. I'm going to go for a Rosa win.
Yep.
I'm going to go Lance second, and I'm going to go Stevie third.
Stevie. Has Stevie been putting the practice in, do you know?
He's always putting the practice in. Stevie is the greatest driver of all time. I'm joking, though. But Stevie's always putting the practice in. He's very dedicated to the F1 game, so I feel he deserved a good result this time out. He doesn't get much luck. Bless him.
So Yuki's gone for Lance, Golf, and Footy.
Oof. That's even more controversial than mine.
I think I'm going to go for Rosa, Lance, and Golf.
Oh, okay.
I've got a good feeling about
So we're
Golf.
going for a mad racer. No Extinct. No one's.
oh yeah,
no
shit,
one's.
sorry. Oh, sorry for swearing as well.
No one has backed to the pole sister to get on the podium. That's, well, I guess he's going to be trying to prove us wrong.
Okay, I take it back now. I think I'm going to have to go then Rosa, Extinct, and Golf. That's better. Cool. I feel like I'm back in Extinct now. Apologies, Extinct. I'll take it back. So we'll get the formation lap underway and see what the game strategy is going to be. But I can pretty much tell you that it's going to be a medium hard or a hard medium, because that's what the game does.
That's what it always is.
Yeah. So we've got Extinct, Lance, Golf, Stevie, Ninja, Danny, all on the hard tyres, and the rest of the grid on the mediums. So I'd expect to see Footy and Rob making up some places back there. Especially, they'll probably jump quite a few people, is what I would like to see.
Yeah, and Ross is also on those mediums, so he's going to get an extra couple of metres jump off the start compared to the person he's sharing the front row with, Extinct, on the hard tyres.
It's going to be difficult to navigate such a short run to the first corner, and it is a hairpin straight at the bottom of the into the first corner, isn't it? So it's literally on the power, and then you come into a grinding halt straight away. Yeah,
and the thing is, it's so difficult being in pole here because there's so much slipstream all the way from the exit the first corner down the end of the Kemmel Straight. So you almost don't want to be leading coming out the first corner, and if you are, you want to have a really, really good exit and just burn your ERS to stay in front. But Yeah, so it's gonna be a really important start for Extinct. See if he can pull ahead enough to not get slipstream down the first straight.
So we have some inside knowledge for you all. Our Ted Kravitz has been in the pit lane, and they've been on the weather forecast and said that it's going to be dry all race. So thank you very much, Ted Mountford there.
What about Mitch Chandok?
No, he's going to be on the Skypad, isn't he? So we'll come back to him later in the Skypad, see if he has anything.
Yeah.
After, but Ted Mountford says it's going to be dry all race. Do we have any more inside knowledge of how the track feels? Is it grippy? Are the cars happy? Are the drivers happy? We'll keep them. We'll be with them, don't worry. I like Mitch Chandok. That's a good one. That. Right, as we get the few last drivers lined up, I think we've got a great angle for you, Dodo, as we hit the lights of the Grand Prix.
Yes, we do indeed. So here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And the cars are released, and it looks like a pretty even start from the front two, despite those medium tyres on the Alfa Romeo. And Extinct is going to lead into turn 1, followed by Rosa, and they all stay pretty much in the same order. Rob's making up positions on those mediums as we expected, with Hip in the background going down to last place, unfortunately for him, at the start. Now we're going to see Rosa tuck into that slipstream, as it so often do in this track, and he's already gained. Look how close he is to the back of that Aston Martin. He's going to surely pull out to the right hand side. He is. Here he goes. Rosa on the inside of the Aston Martin. Extinct tanks it around the outside. He does a really good job to defend that. That's some beautiful work, beautiful racecraft from Extinct. Behind, it looks like Footy and Stevie are going wheel to wheel, and Stevie's going to go down the inside at this corner. They're still wheel to wheel, but the inside line is going to work, and Footy loses a place to Stevie there. So yeah, pretty clean start actually.
So as we see, everybody's just sort of filtering into a nice straight line. We did have an issue at the back with Hip and Craig, but I think they were both self-inflicted. I don't think there was anything between them. If there was, then we'll get some inside knowledge from Ted. As on the curb there, as we were just talking about before, about luckily to escape a wall or a barrier was Footy. It looked like he sort of beached it as the car floor dragged upon the curb.
Yeah, probably bottomed out after taking too much curb, unfortunately for Footy, but he hasn't lost that much time. He's still on the back of the pack, so I'm sure he'll be back up there soon enough.
Rob and Ninja going side by side.
Yeah, Rob and Stevie. Rob making those medium tyres work early on, which is what he needs to do, and now
William the King making a move on both of them.
All the way around the outside. That I did not expect to see an Aston Martin go around the outside there, but fair play. That's a audacious attempt.
That's moved him up into P6 from last P6, which is not a bad. Put him head is carrying to a tape deck. That's good. That's I like that. Yes, it looks like the top two behaving. Again, Rosa just sitting behind the slipstream, coming up to the top of the hill, and I'm guessing he's going to be waiting until DRS, just sticking as tight as he can, and then hopefully the DRS will just drag him, and the extra grip that he's got on the medium tyres just drag him away from Extinct.
He will, yeah, be wanting to get past as soon as possible to use the extra grip of the mediums to pull him away in the first stint, so that he's got enough of a gap so Extinct can't close in on the mediums in the second stint.
So the usual.
At the moment, that's not working.
The suspects that we did think that were going to make ground, Rob obviously made up a couple places, just bring that up. So yeah, William King making 6 positions and Rob making up 2, and the rest of them, Footy losing out because of that spin, and we've lost Rosa.
That's Rosa. Rosa's gone. And so has Ninja at the same corner. Has he got damage? Has Rosa got damage?
I don't know. I've got a horrible angle. So
it looks like his wing is still intact.
I don't know. I've got an on board. Give me a better angle. It looks like it's intact. Yeah, all of it is.
Yeah. I'll have a look at Ninja's as well. His looks fine as too. Must have just got beached on that the same curb that Footy did. It's the same corner. and that's meant that Extinct is absolutely loving life out front. 2 seconds already on those hard tyres.
With
Lance.
Lance,
There's a little twitch there from Extinct. He almost goes into the wall.
so Lance has managed to gain up a lot of time there because of that, so he's benefiting from him from that. So Rosa's season has been horrible. I think Rosa we've known since way back, and so have you, Dodo, really, haven't you? As Footy picks up a 3-second penalty. When he's on his best, and I don't think he puts not a lot of time and effort into. Oh, we've got yellow flags. No, we've got a safety car. Or is it virtual safety car?
Virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car. I wish it'd tell you which one it's given. Anyway, so back onto Rosa. We've known him for a long time, and I think his focus is usually with other leagues. Obviously, he does give 110% for Simcade, but he has lots of lapses in concentration, and I still think it's his sister racing. But when he's on his day, man, is he rapid, and we get back underway with Extinct's managed to pull out a 3.1 second gap.
Yeah, Extinct clearly on the limit of the delta there, taking the risk to try and pull the gap, or either that or Lance was very much underneath it, being safe, because Golf's kind of maintained the gap. So I don't know if that's Extinct being cheeky or what, but yeah. Anyway, back to Rosa. Yeah, me and him have raced a lot this year, and you know when he's at his best, he's a formidable opponent for anyone, and he's probably one of the most consistent drivers. Very rarely makes a mistake. So yeah, he's obviously at the end of this game cycle. I'm not sure if he has a new game, but he's probably not practicing as much as he usually would.
No, and then when his mistakes do happen, unfortunately, they happen at Simcade, which is it's just one of those, isn't it? Really, there's not a great deal. I'm sure he makes mistakes everywhere else, but it just looks to us like it's happening a lot here because obviously he is here, and this is the only channel that you ever need to watch.
We'll see.
So you can tell the difference between a safety car and a full safety car. You can with the yellow dot where the car's coming out, but actual visual like aids, you can't. It doesn't come up on screen saying virtual or full safety car. It just comes up with 3 yellow flags everywhere, and it's annoying.
Yeah, it does. Hopefully that's fixed for 23, because it would be nice to not have to look at the mini map every time there's a full course yellow.
Yeah, you just sort of need to see if you see the yellow dot in the pit lane, you know it's a full safety car, but if not, it's a virtual. But yeah, it would just be nice to come up on the screen when it VSC or safety car deployed. Yeah. You know what I mean? It would be nice. But
we're just such pros, we don't need the graphic. That's all it is.
I didn't want to say that. But also with the new game, the new F1, the broadcasting style F1 that we've got in the new game does look very good, I have to say.
That is good. I look forward to seeing that.
Have you not looked at any of the spectator stuff?
I haven't, no. I haven't.
As William the King has set the fastest second sector. I don't know if that's the middle sector glitch still.
Very possibly. Although, I don't know. Maybe he's on a mad one.
So
he's up into third already.
F1 23 leaderboard is based on in real life leaderboard. Yes, it is, and it does tell you if it is virtual safety car or full safety car. Well, that'll be interesting to see, I'm sure. As William the King sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:48 point. Didn't see the rest of it. It disappeared too quick.
Yes, so he's on a push using his DRS to try and catch Lance. He's within that second now, so he's going to get DRS assistance down the Kemble Straight, and he'll gain a lot of time here with the wearing open. And Rob will also have DRS on Stevie, so we've got a battle for second and a battle for third at the moment. 2 separate battles for those positions.
Yeah, just looking at the onboard with William King, he has used up a lot of DRS, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's also got a penalty for track limits already, which is going to hurt him towards the end of the race. But he's certainly pushing on.
Indeed. Just looking at the throttle inputs of like Lance and everything, how smooth Lance and William King's throttle inputs are. It's impressive, isn't it? As Stevie's picked up a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, these guys are all really, really good at what they do, as we know, week in, week out. They never fail to impress. And this week's no exception to that rule, of course, even with the top two not being here.
Are you a fan of the random drop curbs that they have? They've got scoop curbs here at Spa. Are you a fan of them, or do they unsettle the car as up the inside there goes William the King on Lance? I think Lance sort of knows where his battle is, and that wasn't it.
I'm surprised, to be honest, that William the King's gone for that move, because all he's going to do now is give Footy the DRS, so maybe a few racecraft lessons needed for William the King there, because he's just going to get repassed straight away now by Footy, and he's used all his DRS up. But, you know, we'll see if he's got the exit out of La Source.
Yeah, I was just on board there with Craig. I think Craig's had a bit of a moment. I don't think there's any damage. I feel like William is a good driver, but he makes too many mistakes, and most of them self-inflicted. Yeah, I think they are self-inflicted, but I think we all have moments like this, don't we?
Oh yeah, everyone does. We're only human after all.
Yeah.
Can't be perfect all the time.
No, that's why you do one season, win, and then retire, isn't it? Can't make mistakes if you don't race. So we have a safety car for Craig.
We do. We do have a safety car, and that's going to fall right into the hands of the medium runners. The likes of William the King, the likes of Rob, and who else is on the mediums? Mikey, who's found himself in 6th.
He has.
Stevie, who's now on the medium tyres. Have we had a load of pit stops already?
No, I don't think so.
We have. We've had
Stevie,
everyone
Ninja,
from
Danny,
Stevie downwards to stop.
Footy, Golf, and Hip. Yes. Oh, weird.
That's very early.
How did we
I'm
miss
pretty
that?
sure they all started
Oh,
on the hard tyres.
How did we miss that?
I don't know.
Usually
I wondered why Mikey had suddenly jumped up to 6th after we'd seen no overtakes at all. So yeah.
But the gap that he's got there is 23.8 seconds. The short pit stop. If he gets in, he will be out before the guys behind him. So his best option now.
Rob has a gap of
Oh, it is Rob. Yes,
2.6
apologies. Yes,
to Mikey. Mikey's 1.2 ahead of Stevie.
apologies. Yeah, other way around. Wrong way around. So we're going to see, hopefully, yeah, Rob coming into pit, so he should stay P5 in theory.
Interestingly, 2 leaders have not pitted. They've elected to stay out on the hard tyres.
Which is probably a good idea, because I don't think they would last.
I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, you'd be sure to make them last, certainly the mediums. I mean, William the King there, he's just got a free pit stop, and he's come out still in 3rd place, which is perfect.
Yep. On fresh rubber.
And then Roz has found himself in 4th on a fresh set of hards as well, so he's back in the fight for the win.
We're just going back to Ninja. Ninja had damage, front wing damage, slight, which is making the car unstable.
Okay.
We need all drivers on boards in F1. I mean, you're probably not going to get all of the onboards. I can probably do... I could probably do the little screen capture that I could before, like me and Ninja did on Saturday. That's not too far-fetched. I can manage that.
Well, Yuki, if you're a Sky Glass customer, I'm joking.
Oh, man, don't make me laugh. That's good. I like that. You almost pulled that off there.
Almost.
R1. What for?
I'll take it almost.
I know to do
It's good
R1. I
for
get
me.
that. I'm not dumb. I know the onboard button. He's meaning all the onboards, as in like all at once. Then you can click through them.
You can flick through them. Oh, I don't know what kind of budget.
I mean, I'd need a lot of
we think
PlayStations
we
for
run
that.
on there.
Yeah. I can get on board, but
I mean, most people will be streaming if you get their Twitch.
correct. Stevie
You'd
is.
be able to flick between the different streams. So that's one way of doing it.
Stevie and Golf are definitely streaming. Sky what? Yuki says, because he doesn't know what Sky is. Sky is like I don't know who runs satellite in America.
I don't know. It's
Satellite,
I guess
satellite TV.
It's one of the TV providers in the UK, and the joke is, to explain the joke I made, is every race on UK coverage of Formula One.
Every 10 minutes.
Yeah, they go on about if you're a Sky, because it's on Sky Sports, you see. So if you're a Sky customer, you can get like onboards of every driver, exclusive access, and I think we've had a desync.
Rosa has left the session, so if we can get an invite shoved out to Rosa really quickly, he can get back in.
I think a couple of people have gone. Danny's gone too. I'll invite him because he's on Xbox.
Yes, Sky Sports, yes. But Sky is the company that own it. And every 5 minutes, Crofty says if you're a Sky Glass customer, then you can watch these. Can we even talk about this on YouTube? I don't know if this is like a conflict of, you know.
I can't see it.
No.
I can't see it being... just talking about Sky is not a copyrightable offence, I don't think.
But you never know. I just don't want us to get into trouble because that's like... I actually, whilst we were on Twitch, going back, just whilst we got the safety car, I got us done for a music infringement thing. For a copyright thing. Even though it was an uncopyrighted song. Still pinged it. You've left now, Dodo.
Yeah, my game's frozen. I think the lobby's having a fart. I think it's kicked a load of people out, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, I seem to have...
I had to invite Danny back as well. I think there's a couple others that have gone.
Would you like an invite? I don't know if I can do this.
I'll be able to join through Stevie or Danny. So.
I think nobody. I have no friends. Mikey's DNF'd in the background as well. That I'm not quite sure what happened there.
You know?
So yeah, we've still got yellow flags out there. Mikey seems to have pinned it near hip. I'm not quite sure. Ninja has gone as well. Mikey retired. Oh, so Ninja's been booted as well. So what is going on?
Yeah, there was a couple of people when I was on board under the safety car that had been kicked at the same time.
I can send Ninja an invite. There you go.
And then once I'd invited Danny back and he'd joined back, the game froze.
Is in this line. Let's see who else is missing. We're still missing Danny.
Oh, is he gone again? Did he?
Yeah. Ninja's now back in, I think. Yeah, Ninja's in. Danny's still the one that's. Yeah. I think we ever need to have a redo. No, I think everybody's back in that needs to be back in, I think.
I've invited Danny. I think he's the last one, isn't he?
He's the one that's still ghosted in P8.
yes.
So as
Shame
we
for him
get,
because it's a good position.
as we get away, and I don't think it's synced really back to everybody up, but he has caught the rest of the nap and he's pulled out a 1 second gap away from Lance already. With William the King 7 tenths behind him as the hard braking into turn 1, and I think the gap still remains at a second, which is great for Extinct. We'll climb up Eau Rouge.
Perfect.
It does look amazing seeing like 13 F1 cars go up Eau Rouge.
It never gets dull, does it?
No.
Camera angle.
No, the bottom and the top of the hill, because at the top of the hill you can't see the cars coming up it until they just appear.
Yeah, and they shoot over the hill, don't they? Sometimes even get a little bit there.
It looks like they're going to go flying. It does. It's pretty scary. I mean, we had that, was it a couple of years ago with Lando? Was it last year, Lando spinning off?
21, wasn't it?
Where it hit the wall and everybody was sort of... Was that when it was raining? And they were like,
I think it was 21, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we should red flag it.
Start of Q3. Yeah, because... Was it 22? I can't remember. I don't know.
Steve has had an issue. He spun the car. Danny is now back in, but he's P11.
Yeah, at least he's back in.
Yeah, so he can make up the ground now. As Extinct's pulled out a 1.8 second gap with William the King all over the back of Lance, and Rosa really trying to follow suit as Rob's left the session.
Yeah, we've had someone else has been kicked now. He's PlayStation, so I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. I'm sure we'll be able to join through someone.
Rob's disconnected. I'm pretty sure I can. I know it's not good for spectacle, but it's done now. So hopefully that's a Rob invite sent. I need like a little button on my stream deck that'll allow me to invite, but it don't. So
Yeah, this lobby seems to be fragile at the moment. Certainly, I don't really know what's going on.
Does Rob's back in, and it looks like Rosa's trying to make a move on William the King, but he's just trying to stick in tight with him at the moment as they're going up. Oh, Rouge. Do you have a little lift? He does half lift there. Full fuel. I guess these cars are pretty awful going up there.
They can be, and on the hard tyres as well. So it'll only be a little lift though, and so if fuel wears off, it'll be fully flat again.
Yep. 3/10 the gap to Lance and William the King. So William the King again is on a charge. As
Yeah, it's looking very racy.
hard tyres the top two have got to be looking a bit worse for wear, really.
Yeah, William the King's managed to get rid of that penalty, so that must not have been a track limits. It must have been a 5 second for something. Not quite sure what he picked up, but good for him that he's got it cleared.
Strange. I've never seen that before.
And he's obviously the current net race leader at the moment, as Ninja has, by the looks of it, crashed out of the Grand Prix.
We're going to go past that car. I think now there's another safety
and
car.
Another safety car is out. Yeah.
I think
It looks like that same corner again that claimed Rosa Ninja before, and Footy has claimed another victim
no, he's
today.
in the middle of the track. He is, yes. Same corner. It's like he's ridden the curb too much and gone straight into the wall.
So we should see the leaders pit now, I imagine.
Yep, we are.
There we go.
That is the bulk of them in.
No brainer.
At least the top 10 get 3 points. There you go. William the King gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, so he's got it again.
Yeah, but he now obviously leads the race. And he's shown really good pace, so I don't know, maybe William the King could go on and win this. No one really had him in mind in our predictions at the start of the race, but
no,
it's looking good at the moment.
Which is very interesting. To say that he come from the back of the grid to current P1 with Rosa behind him. Rosa having a great recovery from his earliest spin, which is good to see.
Yeah, Rosa got lucky being on the mediums with that earlier safety car. He jumped quite a few people there after pitting. Let's see if he can keep those tyres going until the end of the race. But obviously the likes of Extinct will be absolutely flying on those new mediums.
Well, just whilst we've got another safety car out, for old and new people around here at Simcade, don't forget to follow and subscribe the page, and obviously hit the bell if you want to see when we put our videos up. We do put our videos up pretty much every day of the week. I think we race Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We do have a bit of downtime, but we do also put things on in the middle. So if you want and would like, and you like what you see, then do so. And obviously don't forget to join our Discord, where if you are wanting to race, you still can. And obviously we'll jump into next year's game for next season, so that should be very interesting as well.
Absolutely, can't wait for next season and to see where everyone stacks in the new game. Obviously I can imagine with a new game, new handling model, there's going to be a little bit of a shake-up in terms of pace. Different people, maybe some people like the game more and pick it up, some people struggling a bit more, so we'll see.
So from what I can get with the inside knowledge of what happened on Tuesday, I can tell you that Footy has been one that's been impressive in the new game.
I've heard that too, yeah, he looks quick.
Yeah.
I've seen on his ET times that he's right up there with the likes of Mans and that, so yeah, it's really nice to see.
It looks like a game that's really is really getting to grips of, and I think that's something about this game that people sort of lost the love for the handling model. So yeah, it's nice to see the people that were putting the effort in 2021 are now back to doing it in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the fundamentals are still the same. People aren't going to lose that much or gain that much from game to game. It's still the F1 game, but certainly the way that different games handle can slightly suit or not suit people, and you'll see small changes in pace from game to game.
So it looks like everybody that needed to stop has stopped.
Yep.
And I believe that these hard runners now, these two at the front, are going to have to pray for the likes of Rob and Extinct that they are going to run out of tyres at the end of the race. But these safety cars are not going to help them out.
I think Extinct's okay. Those mediums will get to the end. I wouldn't say comfortably, but it's not going to be particularly difficult to get them to the end. Rob might struggle because he's already done 5 laps on them. I think Stevie might struggle as well because he's already done 6 laps on those tyres, so he's going to have to try and take those 16 laps. It's a long way to take a set of mediums around this track.
Indeed it is, as William the King is sort of harassing his Aston Martin counterpart Bert to get a move on.
Well, certainly Aston Martins have led the majority of this race. Whether that's Extinct, William the King, or the safety car.
Indeed. Where would you rather be sitting right now? As the safety car is in this lap?
I'd want to be in Extinct shoes. Nice set of new medium tyres. You've got everyone ahead of you vulnerable on older or lesser tyres. Get the overtakes done. Bosh. That's what I'd want to be.
And when you think about the people that he's got in front of me, he's hoping to probably get rid of Rob pretty quick, isn't he? And hopefully Rob doesn't put up too much of a fight. But keep an eye on ERS. Everybody's ERS should be 100% before we start restart the race. But yeah, Extinct hoping to get rid of Rob pretty quickly, and then on to the likes of sort of Rosa and William the King. As long as he sticks with them, it shouldn't be too much of an effort, should it really?
No, I would expect Extinct to be right up there with the leaders very soon.
And again, William the King making an absolute blinding restart, coming off the chicane and then just going. I think that's one of the ways you can do it around here, isn't it? And everybody pretty much follows suit as Hip falls to the back of the grid with Footy getting past him. And Footy's getting racy as well, which he needs to be because he was up at the top before.
Yeah, everyone's kept it clean. And pretty much kind of stern through here as we've got Extinct already making a move on Rob down the inside.
He's light on the brakes there, and what a move. I mean, that is as sweet as you can get it down there.
That's a lovely one, and you can tell he's...
Oh, and...
William the King.
William the King's out.
King's in the wall. Rosa now leads the race from Extinct. So Extinct only has one person to clear before he retakes the lead of the race. I think William the King's gone hard into the wall there. But
yeah,
his
wing seems to be intact. Yeah, his wing seems to be intact. So it looks to me like it's just a bit of superficial damage, maybe. The game obviously giving maybe a little bit of damage when it comes up saying like light yellow or whatnot.
Yeah, very possibly. It's a shame for him though, because he was looking really fast. Just that one mistake, this track can really, really bite if you take too many liberties with it. As I think a lot of people have proven today.
Stevie obviously picking up the pace as well, getting himself up to P4. You did say there's a big shout of him getting a podium, but he has got the 3 seconds looming over his shoulders as William the King picks up another 3 seconds.
Yes, he's got 3 seconds and the oldest tyres as well of anyone out there at the moment, so he's the most likely to have to stop again. I'm sure he'd love a safety car.
Yeah, 7-lap old mediums is not probably what you want to be on right now.
As William the King pits, he must have got damage in that case.
So we've got Rob up in P3. He's got a yellow flag to sector 3. I think that is for William the King DNF.
William the King's right in the pit lane. Yeah.
So 9 remain.
And here's Extinct on Rosa. He's not wasting any time.
Using a lot of that ARS deployment there. Can Rosa just stick with him now? But I don't think he's got the tyres, does he?
I think he'll struggle. I mean, Extinct looks absolutely on it at the moment on those new tyres, and he's going to be giving it everything to try and pull outside of that 1 second window. He's already almost there. 9/10 ahead already after a couple of corners.
As Stevie's picked up another 3 seconds. He's trying to fend off Lance, who's just behind him. I mean, that's not a great overtaking point to say the least, but he keeps it tight, and Lance, yeah, thinks about it the next time round.
Yeah, I mean, was there still... Oh, I just clicked over that second behind Extinct now, so looks like he might fall into the clutches of Rob, who's looking for a good podium. If you can get that DRS, then he might be able to attack Rosa going into the into the chicane into the combo straight.
But Rob's picked up a 3 seconds, so that's obviously, and so's Extinct now. So the only person who hasn't is, of course, Rosa in that top 3 battle.
And Rosa, crucially, has pulled back into the second gap, so he will have DRS for this straight at least.
As Extinct pulls out the fastest lap of the race, and of course, I think he's just going to be outside of the timing unless he can use a bit of ERS to drag himself in. But I think the marker's here, isn't it?
Yeah, he's just outside it. So looks like Rosa will not get that, and Rob's dropped back a bit on Rosa, so he must have made a mistake somewhere along the line because he's dropped about a second.
Yeah.
Here goes Lance on Stevie.
In the braking zone, but Stevie's going to try and come back? No, he's not. I thought he was going to have a cheeky little look then.
I think he thought about it, but Lance covered him off. Parked on the apex, didn't allow for the switchback move. Very good driving there from Lance.
Yeah, which is unfortunate really, because I think it would have been a good move if we could have gone to sneak back up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's something you can do when Lance is defending that well.
Golf looking a bit racy now with Stevie. I think Stevie's a bit vulnerable with his tyres situation at the moment.
Yeah, there's nothing really you can do. I mean, he's on 9-lap-old mediums. People around him are, the tyres are half the age, so he's going to be, especially on a track so long, he's going to be quite a lot slower per lap.
Just on board with Footy at the minute, who's just closed up the gap to...
And that's Stevie around.
Through. Oh, Stevie's around, yep. He's hit into the wall as well. Got to be careful of where Hip is on track. I think it's clear actually. It's just coming around the corner now. So that's the yellow flag's gone. As Extinct, fastest lap again.
He's pushing to try and get out 3 second gap to Rosa, because obviously Rosa still doesn't have any time penalties and he does. He's got 6 laps to pull 1 second. I think he can do it on those mediums, to be honest, but we'll see what Rosa has in store.
As Stevie is in the pits.
Yep, might have got damage, unless he's retiring. No, yeah, he's got front wing damage.
And around the outside is going to be Footy as well. I think he's going to cover off the return from Danny, and yeah, just get that move done. And we've got Lance closing up on Rob as well. With Rob just...
Yeah, Rob another one on those older tyres.
Yeah. It's falling off a bit here, isn't he, Rob?
Yeah, unfortunately, he had a really strong start to this restart, but those tyres are always going to go a little bit, and Lance's tyres been 4 laps younger. And also Lance has been really fast around this track. Through quali and the race, always up there, so he's looking strong for a podium at the moment.
He is indeed. Which is good to see.
It is. It's always good to see different people up there on the podium, and I think it's been a while since Lance has had one, isn't it? So
yeah, a couple of weeks. I know that he did wipe the floor on the GC7 categories, but that's to be expected when he's got no challenger.
Yeah, he's very, very good on GT7, I've heard.
Yes, he is. Scary good, actually.
Maybe one day I'll have to buy a PS5 and give it a go myself.
Oh, please don't do that, because then it'll just be one thing that you better everybody at. I'm joking.
I need to complete the quadruple though, winning a race in all 4 categories.
It's like the quadruple crown.
Yeah. The quadruple crown.
Yep. As
I
Lance is definitely
Lance is
going to
gonna
get
get moved
Rob here. Yep. Even
Rob's
before the
headlights
DRS,
flashing as well.
even before the DRS is fully open, he's got the move done.
Yeah, Rob's got 3% ERS left. He had nothing to defend with, and that was a pretty slam dunk. Probably easiest move we'll see today from Lance as he breezes past into the podium place.
Yuki can't wait to prove people wrong. Keep the talking, Yuki. We'll wait. We'll be here. We're not going anywhere.
Absolutely not. We'll be here to commentate on all your glory, Yuki, when it happens.
Indeed, it looks like Rosa is definitely trying to use up a bit of his ERS as well, trying to claw the gap back to Extinct, knowing that Extinct's got 3 seconds as well, which is crucial for the win.
Yeah, and crucially, Extinct has used almost all of his ERS too, trying to pull away from Rosa, so we'll see what Rosa's got. I mean, he's only 5/10 away from that gap, and we know that those mediums will start going off quicker than the hards.
Yeah,
and we know how fast Rosa can be.
With the amount that he's been pushing as well, it could sort of... It could be difficult for Extinct to keep that gap.
It could be, certainly. At the moment, he's managing it well. He's still pulling out ever so slightly, a couple of tenths a lap from Rosa, doing everything he needs to do. I mean, maybe now he's got that... maybe now he's almost out of that 3 seconds, he'll start controlling it more. But yeah, Rosa's currently pushing, I would say, quite hard on those hards.
Would it not be the correct way to go about it is to back off for Extinct for a lap, because he's got no ERS whatsoever? Back off for a lap and then recharge for a lap, or is he basically just using it where he would normally, and then if it goes, it goes?
Best thing you could do is keep pushing, but not using any ERS. Just push around the corners, and then just don't use any ERS until you've got a bit left, and then save it for the final couple of laps. As he's just now got that 3 second gap out to Rosa, very briefly. So he's clearly pushing. He's got superior grip, definitely, as Extinct. He's already pulled a couple of tenths out in this sector alone.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame, really. I don't like people winning and losing with penalties. I think the game is a bit sort of like too quick to give out the corner cutting penalties, but then sometimes for a very good reason. But yeah, it's not nice. I'd rather it be done on track.
Yeah, I think no one likes a penalty win, but it is part of the game. You know, keeping the car within the white lines is part of the skill, and it's part of the game. I've certainly been on the receiving end of a loss and a win these circumstances, so you know, it's I think it's fair, but it's not always what you want to see from a spectator point of view.
Yeah, definitely.
Got a bit of a quiet period, apart from Footy and
yeah, I was
side by side.
just going on board with Footy and Rob. I think Rob now definitely doesn't have any tyres left whatsoever. I think he's in the same boat as what Stevie was.
Yeah, I imagine. So Stevie going onto those softs.
So with him on 12 lap olds and he's struggling, is this going to be the end of Extinct's push? He's been pushing a lot more than Rob. Could this be the end of his charge? He's pulled out a second, so he's still got the tyres in him.
Yeah, you got to remember though as well, Rosa's tyres have done 12 laps, so they're going to be second best for definite now as well. So I think as long as Extinct keeps it clean, he's done enough.
Let's hope so.
He has deserved it, Extinct. He's been faultless in that qualifying lap. Like I said, one of the best I've seen at Simcade.
It was nailed to the ground, full commitment from Extinct, and it was nice to see on how much level of confidence he had in his setup, especially around such a tricky track.
Yeah, definitely. And then in the race as well, he's not really put foot wrong. He's got a bit unlucky with some of the safety cars, but he's dealt with it.
Yep, agreed.
Made clean moves, and yeah.
So with 3 laps to go, don't forget to get driver of the day votes in for whoever is in chat, and then me and Dodd will pick ours at the end. Obviously not biased. At all whatsoever. We are... Oh, there's a little wiggle there for Rosa. Coming out the bus stop chicane. We purely do it on what we see and what we are watching. Like I'm sure you guys do as well. I think that might have cost... Really I think that might have cost him that wiggle. He's just got to be careful going up Eau Rouge. Now another car's lighter, but them tyres are going to be absolutely screaming at him.
I think Rosa will take a P2 after the race he's had with that spin at the start. Not a bad recovery at all.
Yeah, no, agreed. It's impressive. What I would say now, though, is I think Golf is just catching up to Lance ever so slightly again. He's was within a second there. So I think he's just slowly creeping back up.
Yeah, this could be a very interesting battle for the final podium place between these two.
If he can keep it intact and with him, because I think he's just lost a couple of tenths there. But then gains it around the traction zones. Their medium tyres are working well for him.
Yeah, they're both on the same age tyre, same compound, so that's it's all down to who's looked after their tyres and the RS the most over the stint at the moment.
It does look like it's
ERS.
It looks like it's in Golf's hands a little bit with ERS.
Yeah, certainly the ERS has been more looked after by Golf by about 10%.
This could go right down to the last couple of laps. What attack can Golf mount here?
He's going to need to get into the DRS zone at latest by the end of this next lap to have a chance of sending one down the main straight.
Yeah, and it just seems to be falling a bit short at the moment, doesn't it? But it's like I said, he's got attempts at more ES. Oh, and has he just had a wiggle?
Yeah, he's just tried to put too much power down at a big moment. He's lost about a second, so I think that is the end of that for Golf.
And then we've got Rob creeping back up to the back of Footy again.
Yeah, interesting that. Rob found a little bit extra grip, possibly on those mediums.
Medium tyre's got a bit of a second wind.
Gone through the graining stage and found a second life in them.
It's nice to see the potential that has been coded into the game, that the tyres do sort of come back to you a little bit.
Yeah, they can do a little bit.
It's nice to see. When these guys have been pushing for like 10-12 laps on these tyres, it's nice to see that they can still push on. Oh, and I think we've got a host migration there. I think Golf's left.
Shame.
That's not what we needed to see.
But not a great day on the server side of things. A lot of disconnections, unfortunately. A lot of people missing out and losing places because of it. It's not what you like to see.
No, it's not. I think that's then going to drop Golf.
Certainly behind Footy. Might keep 5th after that. Depends how slow his AI is over the next lap.
Yeah.
And his AI is pitting, so he's definitely going to lose that 5th place.
Cheers, AI. As Danny picks up 3 seconds for Rob's in the pits as well. So I don't think Rob can take them tyres any further. He's going to go into a set of softs. I think that should have been a lap before, really. But I think he does have a free pit stop.
He's really thought that one through.
I think he's only lost 1 place, really.
Yeah.
As we stay on board with Extinct as he's coming round Spa for the final time. And it's not that it's been a bit of a lacklustre race. I think it's just been a typical race where people have just done what they needed to do. As we lost, Footy's DNF'd.
Footy's crashed at the same place William the King has, coming out of that chicane, and that's allowed Danny out of nowhere into 4th place. After all of that, with the pit stops. Obviously, the game will not throw a safety car or anything at this stage, so we don't have to worry about that.
That was a very big crash there. from Footy. I think that's just dead
On
tyres.
the last lap as well, I'm sure he'll be fuming about that.
Footy's just put in the chat straight away. I hate F1 2022 so much.
I'm sure he'll be looking forward to F1 23 with the pace he's shown, but I'm thinking it's Extinct who's going to be living F1 22 for now because he comes across the line to win.
He does.
The Belgium Grand Prix.
Congrats
Great
to
drive.
Extinct, and I think Roz is going to follow suit and take home that P2 that I think he deserved, really. In the bit of a wiggle there from Lance as he crossed the line for P3. And Yuki's driver of the day, Danny, picks up a P4 with our Golf disconnected P5, and Stevie picking up the pieces. I think Rob DNF in the background there as well. He did.
He did, yeah. The flat out left-hander on those softs, he must have just hit the wall, so only half the grid finishing the race, with Hip coming home, keeping it clean, keeping it quiet, going in P7.
Points on the board for Hip.
Possibly, after penalties applied, maybe P6, we'll see. No, he stays P7.
Congratulations to Hip. I actually think I'm going to give my drive of the day for Hip. He kept himself quiet, out of trouble, and for a welcome return to F1 life.
Well, that's a solid choice. I think my drive of the day is going to be Danny. I think to come fourth, it's probably one of his best results in the league, actually. After the disconnect he had twice, actually, he got disconnected, and then his actual performance was really solid. So yeah, Danny's my driver of the day today.
I'll just run you through the grid then. Taking the top step of the podium is Extinct, followed by Rosa and Lance taking P3, with Danny taking a fantastic P4, and Golf, Stevie and Hip round up the finishers, the non-finishers of Rob, Footy, William the King, Ninja, Mikey and Craig. And then we'll move into the podium chat, shall we?
We will, yeah. I am absolutely ready for this time, so I'll see you there.
See you there. I'll just wait for... there he is, look, there we go. Just turn that off. Wait for the top three to get in. Don't forget, driver of the day votes are still out. I know that Danny, Yuki's voted for Danny, but everybody else can still get the votes in, whoever's in the chat. So, yeah, I think you picked Danny, I picked Hip. Well deserved. Change my screen, apologies, and I can see what the hell's going on. Just wait for Extinct and Rosa.
Not a bad race, I would say, overall. A couple of good overtakes, some drama. So, yeah.
A lot of people getting caught out by the curbs, it would seem, which is what we were talking about just before the race got underway, wasn't it? Right, we'll start off our interview. We're joined by Extinct. Congratulations on top step of the podium, taking full advantage of Mans and Cornish not being here. That I have to compliment your qualifying lap, and I'm pretty sure that Dodo do the same. What a qualifying lap! How on earth did you have so much confidence in your setup? Because it just felt planted.
And qualifying the first lap, I wasn't that confident because I did a lot of mistakes anyways. And then I saw like many people cross the line, and I was still P1. And then Raza crossed the line, and then I was P2. So after that, I just put on new softs, and I know that the tire temps are stuck at 93 degrees. So I just knew the tires won't overheat or anything. So I just went flat out through there. Went downforce. I put a bit more downforce than usual because I already played F1 23 and coming back to F1 22, it's a different handling model itself. So just to be safe, I just put more downforce, and then the last lap got more confidence in the car and just went flat out and found 6 tenths to get pole position. And I was surprised myself gaining so much of time.
And then, as you were going through the race with a couple of the restarts, you sort of found yourself at P4, having to overtake Rob, and then William the King unfortunately lost out and spun. Was Rosa your biggest threat on track?
Yeah, Raza was there. Like he was on hard, so I didn't expect him to be like that fast on those hard. So I just thought like I'll stay behind for a few laps, but I don't think those hards were good in the first few phases. So I just passed him before even DRS was enabled, and then I got penalty. But after that, I was sort of pulling the gap a bit, like 3 or 2 tenths a lap or so, and then after I got like out a 4 second gap, I was just chilling, and then last lap I saw Rosa was like really pushing and got it down to like 4.5. So then I started pushing, and then yeah, it was just bringing home in the last lap with more than 3 seconds lead.
Brilliant. Well, all I can say is that was a fantastic win, and congratulations. Dodo, have you got anything for Synced?
No questions from me. Just congratulations, and again, incredible quality lap. I said on stream, probably one of the best, if not the best laps I've ever commentated over. So congrats.
Thanks.
Rosa, congratulations on P2. I feel that that was the recovery of your life, coming from the spin that you had. And obviously a bit gutted with what happened in qualifying. Were you just trying to avoid the car that was on the left-hand side, and then that caused you to spin out and hit the wall?
Yeah, I was on my lap, and the lap before, I overtook quite a lot of cars from spinning. I'm not sure why. And then I was coming out of that corner, and I saw my Delta went green. I think it went red and then green. So I was like, oh, so I just put my foot down, and then I just saw a car sideways, and I was just there. So I had a little, my inner scream came, and a hard right went on, and so I was a bit good by that. But yeah, other than that, it was yeah.
You sound a bit disheartened. I mean, you had the instance at the beginning, but then managed to fight your way back up into P2, and then I think you just sort of lost touch with the strategy that Extinct put on. But I mean, I don't think it was a bad race from yourself. I think a great recovery.
Yeah, I think safety car 1 helped me out massively. Got me back into it, definitely. The second one, I should have followed everyone back into the pits for fresh tires. Because when I saw Extinct, once Extinct went past me, I was just there like, I was looking at the tires, and they were almost at like, I think they were 42% at that point. I was like, I'm just hanging on for dear life already. So it was, I'm a bit confused with like the tires. I haven't played the game in a while, but it just felt, even the setup it was one of those where I was more concerned of the setup than the actual what was going on around me. But to fair to Extinct, he got past me quite quickly, and I was just watching his gap build, which showed he had a great setup, great racecraft, and a well-deserved win there.
True words of a former champion here at Simcade, I have to say. Dodo, have you got anything for Rosa?
No. Congrats on P2 there, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
And then I think it's only fair to say that you can interview Lance. That's the tradition.
All right. Okay, so Lance, can't speak now. Quite a quiet race from yourself, picking up P3. I'm not going to lie, I don't think we talked that much about you with everything going on. So just talk us through what happened with your race and how you dealt with the safety cars.
Most of it was just survival, really. Keeping it like I wasn't pushing one bit over maybe 75% of my like a physical limit, because I just was so scared that I'd lose it, and so many people were losing it that I just was nowhere near confident in pushing it. It was just a scary race, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I take it from yourself and a lot of other people, I take it you've been putting a lot of time into F123, and the transition back to 22 has been quite difficult.
Not as much time as I'd want because I've been busy with work and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying switching over to it, and I have been putting all the time possible into it. The last time I played F122 was probably 2 weeks ago. But coming back to it now, it's like slipping on some old shoes. It's the same useless game as it always was. But yeah.
So congrats on the podium, mate. Very well done.
Thank you, much appreciated.
I just have a quick question for all three of you. This is from Yuki, as always. He likes to chuck questions in. This is for all three of you. With F123 around the corner, what are your plans moving forward?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, go on, Rosa.
I haven't played it yet. I've taken this time while the transition's over. I knew everyone would stop playing 22, so I've kind of just spent the last few weeks just kind of catching up with that, more like that family time. So when F1 23, Natalie's going to be a solid and let me race my heart out on it. Nah, I'm joking. But no, I think plans with it. I think it'll be quite similar to 22. I don't think I'll be able to put in as much practice as I'd like, but at the same time, I don't want to burn myself out. So I think I haven't really looked at anything on it other than storyline, but I just hope I can play it, enjoy it. I've heard a lot of good things, which is what's wrong with this game. So I think in regards to actually racing people, I think it'll be closer. So I think it'll make the racing more fun because you're not going to be scared of like spinning out or anything like that. But that's all I can really say on my side. But yeah.
Extinct, have you got any plans moving forward with 23? Or are you going to put a lot of time and effort into it?
F123 is a lot easier than F122, that is to say, on the traction and the handling model. And for controller, yeah, it's much better on steering from my side, because on the older 22 game, like there was a lot of lag input when steering. Like I couldn't like warm up the wheels quickly, so that is much better in 23. And then with 23, I think there's going to be close racing with everybody, because the slipstreams and DRS from what I've seen is pretty strong, and considering they made it traction much easier, I think it will be much closer in F123.
And just quick one ending on you, Lance. Big plans 23?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of hoping to hit the ground running. I'm not particularly liking the state of GT7 right now. It's just not feeling like my game. So I'll probably put more time into the F123 than the GT7, and maybe try and go for the triple. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying F123. It's much better than 22 was at any point in its life.
I've heard that Dodo's going to go for a PlayStation and go and try for the quadruple. So he's going to try and do all of them. So watch out for that.
In that case, I might have to stay on GT7. You know, don't tempt me. You know, because those times with V2 were amazing. So if I could replicate those, or even have V2 me and Dodo, that would be amazing.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Thank you very much to the top three, and enjoy the penultimate win and podiums that you've received. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
GG, boys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you
You
for
too.
commentating.
And thanks for a great season. Thank you.
I will stay on this channel because obviously we shall. Well, all I have to say is thank you very much to everybody that's raced this week. We did get a bit of a preview of F123 on Tuesday, which is brilliant to see how the league format might pan out. GT7, unfortunately, that is the last of that. So we are finished on that. The only race that we've got coming up is next Thursday, which is our F122 final round at Abu Dhabi. So yeah, can't wait for that one. So thank you very much, everybody who raced, everybody who's watching on stream. Thank you very much, Dodo. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here, and may it continue for an ever and ever. Amen.
I very much hope so, yes. Can't wait for the last race of the season, and definitely can't wait for next game.
Neither can I. Well, thank you very much. As always, I'll see you all very, very soon. And yeah, good night, everybody.
Goodbye.